Hey, thanks so much for downloading the one-page prop. And it's a tool that I really like to use for decision making and really getting down to whenever you have any sort of decision to make. It just allows you to catch your thoughts in a way that makes sense and create those thoughts, turn them into results through overcoming your obstacles and creating a plan. And that's what it is. The purpose, result, obstacles, and plan stands for PROP. So purpose, what is your intention or objective of whatever decision that you need to make? Just write it down. It doesn't have to be super big or anything like that, but just be clear about what is it that you intend to do and what is the result? What is your desired outcome? What do you want to happen? And what's the better future that you're going for with this particular decision? The next piece is often a tough one. It's the obstacles. What are you afraid of? What are you worried about? And what is holding you back from enabling this decision to happen? And then coming up with the plan. What is the systems, the methods, the plan of action so that you've got the idea. Now you know what you want to do. You know what your obstacles are. So let's develop a plan to get you there. And the little, this little area here, who, is just a nice little thing. Like I like to add that as well. Who can help you through? And from that perspective, it could be a person, it could be an outsourced partner, it could be an automation, it could be a tool. So I'll show you how I created one of these last year when I was getting ready to launch the Simplifying Entrepreneurship podcast. So what did I want to do? What was my intention? I want to develop a weekly podcast that will act as a way to get my ideas out and clients in. The focus on TLC, which is teach, learn, and create, which is part of my core beliefs of what I do every week. Be able to share what I've learned with fellow entrepreneurs in hopes that their businesses will advance and flourish. And the podcast will build authority and connect with the right fit listeners. So, what do I want? Why do I want to do this? What's the result? This podcast series will act as a stage, being able to reach people at any time in any place, and allows the ideas and concepts to go much further than my local audience. Seeing this as a converting tool for my coaching business and potential lead generator, I don't need a vast audience of people listening to the podcast. I just truly need the right ones. And that was the goal of what I was going for when I set up the Simplifying Entrepreneurship podcast. And at the time of this recording, we're already sort of half a year in and things are going really well. So excited about that. The obstacles. What was I worried about at the time? Although I'm comfortable on stage, I've never put together a podcast, technology, the apps, all of those things. Having enough content to come up with a show every week. How am I going to do that? Finalizing the format. Is it going to be 5 minutes, 25 minutes, solo interviews, all of that stuff. Digital assets, the video edits, the digital transcription, how to get it posted on all the different podcast things. I mean, I didn't know any of this when I was going into this decision at that point in time, and that's what was worrying me. So what did I do? What was my plan? I set up time for Ryan to review his process. Ryan's a person that I know that actually runs a podcast, and Ari as well. Look into Ari. Had a friend of mine has an outline of how he did his podcast, so I wanted to dig into that a little bit deeper. Map out on Coggle the first 13 episodes. So Coggle's a tool I like, a mind mapping tool that I like to use. So I did that. Map out everything that needs to be done and just start. No more procrastinating. Align 30 minutes a day in the schedule. So literally I have this thing. It's like, we just got to get it going. Once we start it, we can tweak it and work it out from there. Develop a model that will be used to update each podcast, and use Floxy to complete. Floxy is an outsourced partner that I use for editing and different things like that. A lot of marketing tools and graphic design and things like that. Once the core recordings are complete, Floxy can edit in graphics, and I can use Otter to digitally transcribe the shows, and Floxy for the show summary and notes because they do some copywriting for me. Need to find the right tool that will send and post it on all the platforms, and Mike. So interesting thing, just by going through this process, I actually found a podcast producer who wasn't on this at that time. Now, his name is Mark, and Mark allows, he takes care of all the audio side of the podcast and does a bunch of that sort of stuff. I still use Floxy, and I've created my own processes and systems after doing 40 some interviews already. So now I've even honed that even more along the way. So looking back at this, it was my starting grounds to get the podcast working and to make that decision, understanding what I truly wanted, how it was aligning with my business, the result, and the obstacles and things that I had to get through, and to create the plan with the right people around it. So every time I go through any sort of decision, I can run these quickly in my head with that same sort of structure. But if it's a bigger decision, I really like to write down, and I usually don't type them. I actually grab my pen and I scribe them down because I like to handwrite stuff. I just did it type wise here so that everybody could see it in a little more legible factor than my chicken scratching. But hopefully this helps in the creation of getting your mind, getting the stuff out of your mind onto the paper, onto the prop, so that you can create the action plan and make things happen. And looking back, December 15th, 2020, we are right now at the time of recording in October 2021, and I have already got 20 some podcasts launched and another 15 or so already ready to go. So things happen when you create a plan, and the one-page prop helps you do that. All right. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always here to help. Bye for now.